President Joe Biden says the evacuation of Americans and Afghans at the Kabul airport is speeding up.
So some local advocates telling us that things are just not moving fast enough. Washington's chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, has a team in Afghanistan helping people get out of the country. The group's saying that the situation is chaotic, and there's been little to no guidance from U.S. officials.
So we want to bring in Brandi Kruse here, because Brandi, you've been hearing similar stories here. I mean, young children trying to get out at this airport, and oh, it's just hard to watch even these pictures.
Yeah, and a lot of the stories we're hearing, they are kind of stuck at this gate, and they can't go backwards because of the Taliban, and they're not having any success getting into the airport. You know, we should acknowledge that there has been momentum in regards to getting people out. I believe it's about 17,000 to date since the Taliban takeover of Kabul. So they are having success, certainly more so than in the first few days, in getting people out of the country. But CARE Washington, again, the Council on American Islamic Relations, was telling us just about how frustrating it has been for people who, you know, are at that gate or having trouble getting into an aircraft.
Frankly, the level of information that they're getting to keep them safe is abysmal. You know, for days, the most information that I was able to collect to guide people through safe pathways was from Twitter.
Yeah, that's incredibly frustrating. So far, more than 150 families, accounting for about 880 people, have asked CARE to help get their loved ones out of Afghanistan. Now, you guys might recall last week, we spoke with Jesse Jensen, who's a congressional candidate in Washington, but he's also an Afghan war vet. And he got very emotional talking about one of his interpreters, who at that point, this was last Wednesday, had not been able to leave the country.
I have interpreters that are trying to get onto that airfield right now. And I'm working with friends that are still over there to try and get them out. And I don't know if they're going to.
And I was in touch with Jesse Jensen last night and again early this morning. And as an update, one of his interpreters he mentioned has still not been able to get out. In fact, sent this image, if we have it here, of still being stuck outside that crowded airport. You can see the crowds just pushing against the fence. We know there was, you know, kind of a stampede of sorts in this area. There's been, you know, reports of shots fired by the Taliban. It's just a very scary situation, but you're having a lot of instances of visa holders. So since 2014, Afghans who help the U.S. military have been coming into the country. So many of them are already here. And we're hearing these reports locally of visa holders already living in the country who have their family members who they're now trying to get out of Afghanistan and having a really hard time doing it. And they're just reaching out to anyone with any connections who they think are able to help. So yes, evacuations have been sped up, but as you can tell, still having some real challenges in getting people out of the country who, you know, already have that paperwork to be able to leave.
I mean, it's just so stressful. It just is so stressful because you see those photos at the airport and they're not even on the plane yet. But then once they get on the plane, it's not over. They're going somewhere. They have to restart their life. I mean, the whole thing is going to be really, really tough for these families for a long time.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of comments about, well, why don't we get the Americans out first? I mean, there are certainly efforts to get everyone out, but you have to understand, you know, over the 20-year war, these were promises the U.S. made to these people that, you know, you help us and we'll help you. These Afghans put their lives on the line to help our armed forces. And so, you know, leaving them there in these chaotic situations, facing life or death, that's not what the U.S. promised them. And so it's important to get, as Jesse Jensen was telling me, we did an interview last week, we have to keep our obligation to leave no man behind.
Right. Helping them is helping our own. They are our own.
It is, yeah.
Brandi, thank you.
Yeah.